Good day, guys. Welcome to an episode of NASCAR Backmarker News. I'm your host, Cody Evans, aka Start and Park Car. Thanks for joining me. This is very last second, very quick. I thought I would throw this together and go over some quick topics about the backmarkers. We've had some backmarker news be released today that is actually quite prominent. We have Yeley Deegan, obviously. We'll get into that news. MHR finally has a driver listed for their 47 this weekend. And unfortunately, our worst fears have been expected. Cody Ware, unfortunately, will have to miss a race. So, yeah, of course, we'll go over those three topics. That's why this is kind of labeled a mini episode. And for anyone who watches this show, again, I thank you for your continuous support. We'll go through my little tiny intro, and then, of course, we'll get right into those topics. Of course, you guys know the drill. Follow me on social media at Start and Park Car. Subscribe to the channel. Just hit 500 plus subs. So, again, thank you for your support. NASCAR Man, Brock Beard, RacingExperts.com. You guys know the drill. Give them the support because they help make this channel possible. Let's get right into it, shall we? So, our first piece of news broke this morning around, 10:30-ish. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. But, yeah, Cody Ware, unfortunately, put out a statement saying due to the injuries that were suffered in the Texas crash, I'll read what he posted on social media, and I quote, this is Cody Ware's statement. "This weekend, I am making the tough decision to step aside and support my team from outside the car. Given the extensive footwork required to a road course event, I don't feel I am able to give 100% effort to my team, my sponsors, or to Ford. I appreciate everyone's continued support and well wishes. I can't wait to be back in action at Las Vegas. My recovery process is going to be great. I'm feeling stronger each day. Big thanks to Yeley for filling in for me this event, and I'll be pulling for you." That was the quote by Cody Ware. So unfortunately, as we sadly kind of predicted, Cody Ware unfortunately will have to, he's taking himself out of the event, and I don't blame him. Now you ask yourself, well, why didn't he sit out Talladega? I think the way you look at he drove Talladega, he really wasn't in the draft all day. He drove a very, very conservative race at Talladega. I don't even think he really tried to stay in the draft. And, that's just pressing the throttle down. That's pretty much it. But a Roval road course, your foot is going just hammer on the brakes and gas. And I can understand, wanting to, concern his health, but also trying to get a good run. The best decision possible was to really take himself out of the car. It sucks to see. And, 3 drivers now have been injured by this next-gen car. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the safety. Definitely a lot of people have already complained about it enough. But either way, like I said, hopefully the adjustments that NASCAR will make in this offseason will make for a much safer car in 2023. I do hate it for Cody Ware, of course. We all love Cody. I don't know how anyone could really hate Cody. I know he was a little, he's different now. He wasn't the nicest guy then. I've even changed my tune on him for sure. I'm a huge fan of his. I wasn't a huge fan of Cody in the beginning of his career, but I've definitely turned around, and so have a lot of people. Cody's a good guy, and we wish him the best of luck. And, of course, everyone knows I'm a big Yeley fan, so I hate it for Cody, but I'm glad JJ gets to do a cup race, and I know JJ's a pretty solid road racer. He's not the best, but he's a solid hand, and he'll give that 51 Nurtec car a good finish. Obviously, though, the more focus will be put into the 15 of Joey Hand, and I hope that car can get a good run too. But, yeah, sucks for Cody Ware. I kind of was wondering, he was on crutches at Talladega, and you just had to wonder, man, if he's already on crutches and it's Talladega, he drove a very conservative race. There's really no way to drive a conservative race at Roval without really putting a crap load of pressure on your feet and legs. So it's understandable why, take the precautionary measures. Don't come back too quickly and hurt yourself at that Roval, and instead just sit out for the week and come back at Las Vegas. Smart move. And like I said, I'm sure we all wish Cody Ware the best of luck of getting back to his 51 car. We will end with the Yeley Deegan stuff. We'll go ahead and do this real quick. There's actually kind of a small one. For the people who joined me for last night's episode of Backmarker entry list storylines, we did list that the 47 car did not have a driver listed. Brennan Poole would be driving the 52 car for Jimmy Means, so that meant the 47 would be unlisted. Well, now we have a driver announcement. Literally was announced just, 15 minutes ago, that Greg Gaulding will be driving the 47 for Mike Harmon. And I got to say, I put the 47 in my DNQ picks yesterday. I'm gonna have to take him out. I don't know who to replace him with, but I'm gonna take my DNQ picks and change them. I'm gonna take the 47 out. Gaulding is a very, very underrated road racer, and if that 47 car can just stay together for one lap during qualifying, I strongly believe Gray could get that car in the show. And Gray's no different, no new guy to Mike Harmon Racing. He's driven a couple plate races for him this season. And he's actually driven the last 2 years at the Charlotte Roval for Mike Harmon. He ran last year in 2020 in the 74. I think this is a good pickup for Mike Harmon. I had to believe it was either going to be Kyle Weatherman or a guy like Greg Gaulding. Makes me wonder. I think if you have Brennan Poole driving the 6 car for JD Motorsports, I would get Gray in those cars for the oval races. Brennan Poole's a better qualifier than Gray, but Gray is still a very, very solid hand, and he knows how to get the most out of those backmarker cars. So I got to say, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Gray can do. And, just like with Brennan Poole and Jimmy Means, I think they both have a great chance of getting those cars in the show, but it's going to be close. It is going to be very, very close. And finally, for the big news of today, for this short episode, Hailie Deegan. Yes, the long-awaited rumor and announcement of her going to Xfinity. Now, it says doesn't involve her 2023 plans, and that's a big note that she made in the video. We'll go over that last, but she will be driving the number 07 for SS-Greenlight Racing, pristine auction, which ironically enough sponsored a Gibbs ARCA car last year, so it's kind of funny that they've now jumped to a different team. Will be the sponsor on the car. I have to believe this is a full-on SHR car. It has to be a full-on SHR car with just a 07 slapped on it, not a car that was actually prepared in SS Greenlight Racing. That's not taking anything away from them, but I think we can understand. This is likely a Riley Herbst style car with just a 07 wrap on it. Man, I don't know how to judge it. She's you don't want to be too critical about it. She hasn't been flawless in trucks. A lot of it hasn't been her fault. She's been involved in a lot of crashes. Some of that her fault, some that aren't. You could argue that her top 10 finishes are based off of attrition and not really earned. She definitely has her haters. I've been a supporter since day one. I've not been a huge fanboy. I've just kind of been a supporter because I'm all for women in motorsports. You guys, the people who listen to my ARCA podcast, I'm always cheering for the women to have a good run. I want to see women in motorsports succeed. I don't know what to say about it. I think she will be doing a good job. She will be doing Las Vegas. I think that's a good fit for her, not a short track. I think she actually performs better on mile and a half. Like she said in her video, I actually agree with her that the results might not show it, but I think a better place for her to make her Xfinity debut actually is a mile and a half rather than a short track. Like a track like Phoenix, not Phoenix. Make your debut at a mile and a half, like Las Vegas. My expectations for her, if this is a full bore SHR car with just a 07 slapped on it, it has to be better than a top 20. It has to be. If this is a full on SHR 100% top winner caliber car, let's just face it, it's a winning car. If she doesn't run at least top 20, I would consider that personally disappointment. So I could see her practicing outside the top 20, maybe even qualifying outside the top 20. But I would say if she does not finish inside that top 20, especially considering we're only starting 38 cars, and a lot of these backmarker cars, they kind of struggle at tracks like Las Vegas with the worn out surface and handling. If she doesn't finish top 20, that would be my personal goal for her. I'm sure her goal is probably just to finish the race. But that would be my personal goal. You guys can put your goals in the comments section or the chat, but that's just kind of my goal for her. I want her to finish. I do want her to finish. I don't want her to crash out. But I think it's a great opportunity for her for sure. And, the one other thing she actually got into in her video was that right now she does not know her 2023 plans. That right there is a little telling. I believe after this season, her Ford contract was up. So I'm not sure if that was, I'm guessing it had to be renewed. But the fact that she doesn't know her 2023 plans, we've heard the rumors of David Gilliland Racing going back to a Toyota truck team. So that would end that partnership if that was the case. And, you could say she's still not ready for Xfinity, but I mean, a season and a half of ARCA, like over 40 ARCA races, plenty of races in the Can-Am series, and 2 full-time truck seasons. Even though the results might not be perfect, based on that alone, she kind of is ready. And, the truck series, some people call the truck series, not what it used to be, not the best development place. You could go both ways on that. I'll admit, I'm actually quite curious to see what she could do in an Xfinity car. I actually kind of am. And I hope her 2023 plans revolve something around the Xfinity series. And I really don't think it's going to be as bad as people says that it's going to be. And I'd like to see her get a chance. Is it a full-time ride, though? We'll have to see about that. Again, we have to remember Riley Herbst, he brings a lot of money to SHR. He really does. He brings just as much money as probably Hailie Deegan does. So it's not like, Riley is as expendable as maybe people think he is. He brings plenty of funding to make himself warranted for that ride. And I have to agree that Riley has gotten a lot better than what he used to be back in, when he was driving for Joe Gibbs. He's gotten a lot better driving that 98 car. So could we see the SHR Xfinity team going back to 2 cars? I think they would have plenty of sponsorship for it. I'd be shocked to see Hailie without a sponsor. I mean, she comes with so much press, so much fanfare. Every sponsor they almost get on her gets a T-shirt, gets publicity. So, that'd be my personal opinion. Get her in the Xfinity series. Not sure what number, because the number 1 is taken in the Xfinity series by Junior. But I could see her going to a second car for SHR. And, with back sponsorship from her truck sponsors, like Waste Quip, Monster Energy, of course. Maybe Craftsman, but I don't know if that's a deal with DGR or if that actually they decided to sponsor her or not. Either way, I think it's a great opportunity. We'll just have to see. I mean, you're right. The 00, that number could come back. 00 is one of my favorite numbers in NASCAR, so I'd actually like to see that. But I wonder what you guys think about it. Hailie Deegan driving in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. With how long I've been following Deegan's career, never thought I would honestly ever see that. So it's great to see. It's great to see women in motorsports advancing back into the Xfinity Series. Julia Landauer also announced today that she will be driving the number 44 for Alpha Prime. So some great announcements today for the women of motorsports. Julia driving at Phoenix and Hailie driving next weekend at Las Vegas. I can assure you one thing, though. For the people who have garage passes, that will probably be the most sought-after hero card. So, if there's one thing I can say to that 07 team is be sure on the lookout for hero card scalpers. And make sure you put the "Please Take One" logo. If you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys know what I'm talking about, whoever been in the garage area before, people just taking like 15 hero cards from one holster. Man, that annoys me. And guarantee you, if they do that for Hailie, I hope they've printed a minimum of 1,000 because that is going to be a very, very sought after hero card. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this short little episode of NASCAR Backmarker News. Going over Cody Ware's situation, Greg Gaulding driving for Mike Harmon, and Hailie Deegan's big announcement. Obviously, if these continue, I will be gladly to do these short little episodes with you guys because it's fun to talk to you guys for a little bit, even if it is only at 5:15 p.m. But I have some stuff to do tonight, so I wanted to get this over with quickly. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow for the ARCA Racing Podcast Championship Preview Show. And have a good rest of your Tuesday night. I'm Colby Evans, starting Park Car, signing off. So long, guys.